Caloã de Sá Gouvêa, Business Development Manager at Translation Back Office, and you are the GALA champion of this week. So congratulations. Yeah.
Isabella, thank you very much for reaching out with this opportunity. Being a GALA champion, that is
it something?
Such a nice title. Yeah, that is definitely something.
Okay.
And thank you so much for having me here in this series of interviews that you are doing with people from the industry. I think that is a great opportunity for all of us to share a little bit with our colleagues, information that might be useful or not. I mean, who knows?
We'll see. But I know that you have an interesting story about how you started out in localization. Do you want to tell it a bit?
Yeah, I think that, I don't know, now we are facing more and more people that are actually studying to fulfill different areas of our industry. In general, I would say 10 years ago, just to go where I started, a little bit over that. I was doing the math yesterday for the interview, and it's been 14 years, so it's a lot. But there, you would either see translators that became business owners and developed their companies, and the companies grew. But other than them, everybody else kind of get there in an accident. Nobody was actually looking after the translation industry. I mean, I don't think that at that time you would put a ad for, I don't know, looking for a project management in the translation industry. It was always something that you would find because that was there. In my case, I didn't even search for the project management position. I was actually working as a Portuguese teacher in a software company that was right across the street from Translation Back Office.
Okay.
It was 2008. There was the big crisis that we were going through, and being the Portuguese teacher, I was almost sure that next year I was going to be without a job. So I saw that sign, Translation Back Office, translation, they translate. I speak different language. So I literally knock on the door. The secretary, she came to downstairs. Nobody knocks on the door of a translation company. I mean, it's not normal. So she was kind of scared, and she looked at me from the stairs and she said, "How may I help you?" And I told her, in fact, I will help you. We're a translation company. I speak Portuguese, English, and Spanish. I'm sure there is something for me to do at Translation Back Office. And she said, "Do you have a CV?" At that time, I used to walk around with a file with CVs on it in my backpack.
Always ready.
I threw a CV. And they called me a few hours later. There was the interviewing process, and it has been 14 years and several positions, different companies, back at Translation Back Office right now. So I wasn't expecting the translation industry to be as important as it became on my life at that day. I had no idea.
Oh, that's a great story, I think. And you started out as a project manager, you said. How did your career develop?
I started actually as assistant project manager. I was dealing mainly with linguists, with the people that would provide the services to Translation Back Office. Then I developed into project manager. Then I became a team leader, account manager. Then I left translation back office. I started in another company in Brazil. There I was in charge of vendor management. And then I moved to another company in Argentina. And there was actually where I started in sales, which was really interesting as well, because I had no background in sales. I mean, I think that I was born a salesperson.
Really?
Because I mean, I think that's sales. You can learn techniques, you can learn process, you can learn a lot of things, but there are some stuff that are there. I mean, that way, that person that was kind of scared of me asking, how may I help you? And I told her, I will help you. It's like, it's sales.
All right. So sales is actually helping people.
I think so. I worked on the food and beverage business as well. So you have to sell to get your bigger team. So it's part of what it is. But like formally, I started as a salesperson at this company in Argentina. And the first day that I sat in the computer, I had no idea how to sell via computer. It was my first time. So the first thing that I typed out on that day was how to sell. And I got some information. And some of that information from that very first day, I used until today. It is,
really?
Yeah, 8 years has passed, and
they're still good. Okay, can we have at least 3 points of what you found out that time that you still use?
I think the subject line is important to call for an action. So instead of introducing yourself or saying, hey, I mean, people are not very much interested in who you are if they don't know you. But if you call for an action, like read, translate, make something, it is, that email has different action. It's calling for an action. And not that you are going to get like, how they say, an action because of that thing, but that has a different impact on people that are reading that email. Another thing is about relate to things that you know. I mean, but that you know what I mean. It's like you and the person that you are talking to, they know. So one technique that is very good in that was there, it's like conferences, face-to-face meetings, and it's look around and see something that call your attention. Like that was exactly the example that I got that day. It's like a ice statue, something that you, during your conversation where you're not selling, because you don't sell at that moment that you are in front of the person, but you get the attention of that statue and you talk about the statue and you develop some rapport. So when you send the email, when you go back to your office and you send an email, you can refer to that statue. You can make like a connection that goes beyond translation, that goes beyond. It is a connection that when you talk about your email, it can be like, what about that ice statue? You know, and that will call the attention more than any other person out there. And the third one, it's good handshake. Handshakes are important. I think that a handshake is like a firm handshake. Look in the eye. You can learn a lot about someone at that moment. So I think that those are 3 tips that I would give to anybody who is selling out there.
Okay, so in 2019, I think, Translation Back Office joined GALA, and
Yes.
and you were responsible for that. Why did you think that joining GALA was such a good idea? And is it?
I was living in Ukraine. We were working at on developing that office at that time, and I saw some events online on GALA, the webinars, but I didn't actually know the magnitude of the organization. It was, and I went to GALA in Munich, and then I understood.
What did you understand?
How big it is, how important it is, how helpful it is, how, I mean, I think that nowadays being a champion at GALA and having the opportunity to be here talking to the audience that I am going to be reaching with this, that opportunity is great. And I think that GALA helps in so many ways, connecting people, connecting, helping our industry to develop. I think that you guys have this important role in being always looking for the latest news, being connected to people that we can share knowledge. And I think that the GALA conferences differently from other conferences. If you were a translator, if you were someone who is not involved in a big company structure, but there will be something for you there. And some other organizations, it's more oriented on like almost purely network sales. It's like, and I think that GALA has something more, how do you say, familiar. It's like a big family,
a community, probably.
Yeah, big community, and that's important. I think that our industry is built on those communities, and GALA has this spirit. So after Munich, I went back to Translation Back Office and say, "Hey guys, why we are not part of GALA?" And they said, "Why do you think we should be part of GALA?" Because if we are not part of GALA, we are not part of it. So we have been since then.
Okay, that's great. Professional accomplishment you're most proud of?
I don't know. I think that I could say about accounts, clients, but I think that the biggest accomplishment that I is to be someone who people will ask advices in different matters. I mean, and I always say, if advice were good, nobody would give them for free. So I am not sure if the advices that I'm giving are good or not, but at least people can come to me when, and that's nice. Having the opportunity to talk at GALA, having the opportunity to talk at, be part of Lock Lunch, have opportunity to talk at ELIA and other organizations. It's I think that this is it. I think that become someone that people trust is a big thing on professional development.
Okay, and so we were talking just before about your career going from project manager up to business development manager. So for those who want to build a career in localization, what would your advice be? Since we're talking advice.
I think that it's important for you to be able to listen and act at the right time. Because it's important for you to understand what's going on around you. It's important to know when to say no, and it's important to understand when you must go that extra mile for a client, for your colleagues, career advice. I think that lots of things that happened to me were like being at the right time, at the right place. So, but there was one thing that my father told me when I was a kid.
Okay.
Don't be absent, because your boss might figure that your absence doesn't make a lot of difference.
That's a very good one. Very good advice. Very wise father. Okay, very good. One lesson you learned in the last 2 years or the last 16 months or something?
There was two things that I thought. One was, I'm going to go crazy.
Really?
And the second one was, how am I going to sell? How am I going to reach people? How am I going to be there to talk to the world? But and then suddenly all the communities started going online. GALA connected, and then Lock Worldwide and Elia, and everybody was there. And suddenly we were like, there was a support team from all the different communities that we are part of. And actually, I think that over the last 2 years, with all this online communities and events and so on, I got a lot of how they say, I met with people that I wouldn't expect to meet, because it was like Lock World, GALA, Elia. It's always a certain level of people from companies that would be there. It's like salespeople, it's like CEOs. And suddenly we started seeing like other people from the industry, like translators, team leaders, translation back office would send like 5-6 different people, from vendor manager to project manager to. So instead of getting isolated, we got, I think, even closer. So thank you, Isabella, for having me on this new series of events that you guys are doing. It's
You're very
important.
welcome.
So thank you very much.